Well, new details have emerged about the school shooter at the Abundant Life Christian School in Wisconsin. She is identified as a 15-year-old woman named Samantha Rupnow. But the new shocking information that we have about her will surprise you. We're covering this story and so much more here on the Gateway Pundit's Week in Review. My name is Elijah Schaffer, and this is the Week in Review, where we cover the top 5 stories of the last 24 hours. Our first story is quite shocking, and I want to take it very seriously as lives were lost. Well, if you don't know about this, Jim Hoff reported that the shooter at the Abundant Life Christian School in Wisconsin is identified as a 15-year-old Natalie Samantha Rupnow. Now, we have some of the details in this story, but I have additional ones I will be adding to it. Listen to this. Authorities have identified the suspect in the tragic shooting at Abundant Life Christian School as 15-year-old Natalie Samantha. The Gateway Pundit previously reported that social media users claimed to have identified the teenage suspect in the shooting at a Wisconsin Christian school on Monday as a 15-year-old female student. We decided to withhold that name until it had been officially confirmed. The attack has resulted in the deaths of a teacher and a fellow student. Natalie Samantha Rupnow also lost her life to an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. 6 others sustained injuries, with 2 reported in critical condition. The tragic event unfolded on Monday shortly before 11 a.m. as Rupnow entered a classroom during study hall and opened fire using a 9mm handgun. A second-grade student promptly called 911, enabling a swift response from law enforcement. Upon arrival, officers found Rupnow deceased from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. No officers were discharged their weapons during the response. Now, the identities of the deceased teacher and student have not been publicly disclosed, pending family notifications. Among the 6 injured, 2 remain in critical condition, while the others have sustained less severe injuries. The City of Madison released the following statement on Monday, saying, "The City of Madison is confirming an active shooter incident at Abundant Life Christian School. At this time, there is no danger to the community, and we are in the process of supporting victims and their families." Multiple victims have been transported to area hospitals, and parents seeking to reunite with their children should go to the reunification center at SSM Urgent Health Clinic at 1821 South Stoughton Road. Members of the general public are asked to steer clear of the area. There will be an additional public briefing at 2:30 p.m. Central Time at Fire Station 14. Thank you to all law enforcement, fire, medical staff, and other emergency personnel who have responded so quickly and professionally to this tragic event. Now, authorities are actively investigating the circumstances leading up to the shooting, as Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes acknowledged awareness of manifesto allegedly linked to Rupnow circulating online, but has not confirmed its authenticity. Investigators have conducted searches of Rupnow's residence and are in communication with her family to piece it all together. Now, what I wanted to talk about some of these details is it looks like she followed someone called, I think, like Red Femme Hitler. Is that what it's called? Rad Femme Hitler. So she was following this account called Rad Femme Hitler, who's this sort of neo-proto-feminist account. Not like a far-left feminist. It wouldn't even be considered third-wave feminism. It's like a femcel. Like, I would say, like, I don't even know what the right word would be to say. It'd be like gynocracy, if that's even a better word. Creating an order of where women are superior to men and men are weaponizing their incompetence and should be subjugated. Now, the radical femme Hitler, which is kind of a crazy name, has been radicalizing young women to hate men. And she also follows me on X as well, so I don't know why that's the case. Maybe because she hates me, but I imagine she's a decent person. I'm not blaming her for the killings at all. As we know, many people have been blamed for shootings, like Candace Owens was blamed for Christchurch or whatever. We can't blame these people for what happens. However, the fact is this shooting will not get a lot of attention. Why? Because it's a woman. It's a woman who hates man. It is a radical feminism, and it's with a handgun. So we won't talk about it. Plus, the victims are Christian. And it seems like she went by they, them pronouns on Reddit. So this is something very deeper. This is more like gender extremism in our midst. And the media won't want to talk about this because who wants to talk about something that goes against their narrative? Now, that being said, guys, I want to remind you, in the midst of this terrible tragedy, a lot of us need to have the energy that we are lacking. Now, if you're lacking energy, I want to let you know that I saw a video of Chuck Norris, the legend. You know they say this, right? Chuck Norris doesn't get afraid. Afraid gets Chuck Norris. I recently saw a video that he made, and it was shocking. So apparently he's in his 80s and still kicking butt and working out and staying active. What's even more shocking is he's stronger, can work out longer, and even has plenty of energy left over for his grandkids. And he did this by just making one change. He says he still feels like he's in his 50s. His wife even started doing this one thing too, and she's never felt better. She says that she feels 10 years younger, her body looks leaner, she has energy all day. Now, Chuck made a special video that explains everything. Make sure that you watch it by going to chuckdefense.com/pundit or by clicking the link below the video. It'll change the way that you think about your health. Once again, it's chuckdefense.com/pundit, chuckdefense.com/pundit. Click the link in the description below to watch the video. You won't believe how simple it is. Watch his method, link in the description. Now, as I mentioned, some of the weirder things of this is that, top of the weird arrests, you guys have been seeing the drones that have been going around. Well, people have been saying that the drones are due to a leaking of a hazardous product. Some are saying it's a nuclear warhead from Ukraine. I'm not confirming that. I'm not entirely sure. We have all the details. However, Jim Hoff reports that law enforcement arrests 2 men over hazardous drone operation on Long Island. Third suspect is still on the run. Listen to this. Boston police arrested 2 individuals on Saturday following a dangerous drone operation near Logan International Airport. At approximately 10:22 p.m., the Boston Police Harbor Patrol Unit apprehended 42-year-old Robert Duffy of Charleston and 32-year-old Jeremy Fulsick of Bridgewater, Massachusetts, on Long Island in Boston Harbor. Boston police announced in a press release. Both men face trespassing charges with additional fines or criminal penalties likely as an investigation continues. A third suspect, believed to have escaped by a boat, remains at large as authorities intensify efforts to locate him. The incident began earlier that evening at 4:30 p.m. when a vigilant Boston police officer specializing in real-time crime surveillance detected an unmanned aircraft system, a UAS, dangerously encroaching on Logan's airport restricted airspace. Utilizing advanced drone tracking systems, law enforcement pinpointed the drone's flight path and the operator's location within the decommissioned Long Island Health campus. Now, more from the press release, the Boston Police Department coordinated with Homeland Security and the Massachusetts State Police and the Joint Terrorism Task Force, the Federal Communications Commission, and Logan Airport Air Traffic Control to address the situation. Members of the Boston Police Harbor Patrol Unit were dispatched to Long Island and located 3 individuals inside the decommissioned Long Island Health campus. Upon attempting to make contact, the suspect fled on foot. 2 of 3 individuals were apprehended and identified as Duffy and Fulsick. During the investigation, a drone was discovered inside a backpack carried by Duffy. The 2 suspects were transported to District A1 for booking, and a continued search for the third suspect, believed to have fled the island in a small vessel, was conducted by officers and Massachusetts State Police. Duffy and Fulsick are scheduled to be arraigned in Dorchester District Court on charges of trespassing. Further charges may be filed pending the outcome of the ongoing investigation. The Boston Police Department reminds recreational drone operators of the importance of adhering to Federal Aviation Administration (FAA) safety guidelines. Operators are prohibited from flying drones over people or vehicles and must be aware of airspace restrictions. Even small drones pose a significant risk, including the potential for catastrophic damage to airplanes and helicopters. Near collisions can cause pilots to veer off course, putting lives and property at risk. The incident comes amid a series of mysterious drone sightings across the country, with officials unable to determine their origin. Since mid-November, large drones on certain origins have been repeatedly spotted in the sky at night over central and northern New Jersey, including near military installations. Despite investigations, neither local nor federal authorities have identified drones' origins or purposes. The White House declared on Monday that drones spotted over northeastern United States are operating legally and lawfully. We assessed the sightings to date, including a combination of lawful commercial drones, hobbyist drones, and law enforcement drones, as well as manned fixed-wing aircraft, helicopters, and even stars that were mistakenly reported as drones, John Kirby told reporters. We have not identified anything anomalous or any national security or public safety risk over the civilian airspace in New Jersey or other states in the Northeast. Now, even Trump came out and said that there was something weird going on about this. He said it was quite strange, but he said the government did know. That's interesting. Now, that being said, here's a shocking video. Ukraine assassinates Russian nuclear, chemical, and biological defense chief, General Kirillov, in Moscow bomb blast in major escalation, Paul Sarin reports. The Kiev regime once again resorts to an asymmetrical tactics, terrorism, and assassinates a top Russian general in a move that is sure to generate public escalation and also certain retaliation by Russians against top Ukrainian officials. On today's early morning, 17, an improvised explosive device was detonated on Moscow's Royanovsky Prospect. The massive deadly blast killed a high-profile Russian chemical defense chief, General Igor Kirillov. So I guess that's him. That's crazy. The Russian Investigative Committee has opened a criminal case into the murder of Lieutenant General Igor Kirillov, ahead of the troops' radiological, chemical, and biological defense of the Russian armed forces, and his assistant. The IED was planted on an electric scooter positioned at the entrance of a residential building in southeast Moscow. Watch the moment where the boom attached to a scooter explodes, killing the general. Viewer discretion is advised. Who was filming that? I mean, that seems like that was got to be the Ukrainians filming that, right? That was like pretty aimed right at the door. Yeah, probably. So to remind you guys that war's no joking matter, and I don't like watching videos of people dying. And I know it's true and it's really happening, but it is rather graphic and it is alarming. That being said, who's funding the radical Trump-hating 65 Project? Now we know. We have a new video for you. Jim Hoff reports that 65 Project is an NGO affiliate attempting to disbar lawyers, including 7 attorney generals, a governor, and a couple of senators, all of course Republicans. Common Sense Elections is using a fractal dark money tracking system built in 2024 to track not only the immediate funding source, but show connections to thousands of leftist NGOs in the leftist sphere. Welcome to the 2025 Fractal NGO Project. Leftist NGOs operate with tax-exempt money, undermining American institutions, interfering in elections with no regulation. And these groups can attack some of the country's most respected jurists like Professor Dershowitz or John Eastman, and nobody does anything about it. Leftist NGOs serve as a leftist government extension, funding the Taliban, recruiting illegal aliens to cross the border, and interfering in elections. These NGOs are the central nervous system of the left, and we now know we need to stop them. In 2025, Common Sense Elections team and its new microsite Stop Funding Leftist NGOs is publishing the funding sources, connections among directors and employees. Here's a video explaining the sources. Watch.
Americans today are recognizing that one of the largest problems that we have are leftist NGOs, non-governmental organizations, who are being funded in many cases by the federal government, who are involved in nefarious activities throughout the country. And people want to know how those groups are being funded. Well, we're Common Sense Elections. We use advanced quantum speed fractal technology, and we have the technology to do it. So one of the ones we're going to look at today is called the 65 Project. The 65 Project is a project to disbar 65 attorneys who supported President Trump and questions about the 2020 election. The question is, who funds the 65 Project? The 65 Project is attempting to disbar the attorneys general of Indiana, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Utah, Tennessee, Louisiana, and the one in Louisiana is now the governor. They're attempting to disbar the attorney general in Alabama, West Virginia, Arkansas, Kansas, Missouri, Montana, Florida, South Carolina, and Mississippi. They are also attempting to disbar likely the most prominent attorney in America today, Alan Dershowitz, who is the professor of law emeritus at Harvard University and one of the most
You can watch the rest of that there on our website at thegatewaypundit.com. But we're finding out that there's funding behind these people. Like, who's behind this? Well, obviously, it's not just random individuals. This is a coordinated effort to destroy our sanctity of our democracy. And I don't mean that in the way that the left says it, but here's the deal. Obviously, Christmas is coming, guys. If you're looking for last-minute gifts, the Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, and they won't last long, so get them while you can. The famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regular price is $119.98, now only $59.98. The 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98, and with hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. From bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. Don't forget the Classic Collection pillows at wholesale pricing. For a standard MyPillow is only $14.88. You can't beat that price. Only $14.88. A queen size is only $18.88. Upgrade to a king for just $1 more, plus body pillows for just $29.98, or the multi-use pillows for $9.88. Go to mypillow.com or call 1-800-210-8491 and be sure to use promo code Elijah right there on the screen. Again, you can get the flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, and you can also remind you there's 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025, plus orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free. Check the link on the screen in the description, mypillow.com, promo code Elijah. Get your pillows at the best price, $14.88. Guys, these are American products, and no one's going to get mad about a nice, comfortable pair of slippers with the highest quality stitching and fur inserts, or a pillow that feels like you're literally sleeping on an angel's butt. Not that I've ever done it, but I mean, I imagine that's what it would be. So check it out at mypillow.com, promo code Elijah. Now, lastly, breaking, Liz Cheney referred for criminal investigation for witness tampering related to J6 star witness Cassidy Hutchinson. Listen to this. The Committee on the House Administration Subcommittee on Oversight Chairman Barry Loudermilk released a second report on the events surrounding January 6, as well as his investigation to the weaponized J6 committee on Tuesday. This interim report reveals that there was not just one single cause for what happened at the U.S. Capitol on January 6, but it was a series of intelligence, security, and leadership failures at several levels and numerous entities. Loudermilk's report outlined criminal recommendations against January 6 committee co-chair Liz Cheney for witness tampering based on her communication with J6 star witness Cassidy Hutchinson. The committee's top findings are that former Representative Liz Cheney colluded with star witness Cassidy Hutchinson without Hutchinson's attorney knowledge. Former Representative Liz Cheney should be investigated for potential criminal witness tampering based on the new information about her communication. 3, Cassidy Hutchinson's most outrageous claims lacked any evidence, and the Select Committee had knowledge that her claims were false when they were publicly promoted her. President Trump did not attack his Secret Service detail at any time on January 6. President Trump did not have intelligence indicating violence on the morning of January 6. Cassidy Hutchinson falsely claimed to have drafted a handwritten note to the president on January 6. And Representative Cheney and Cassidy Hutchinson baselessly attempted to disbar Hutchinson's former attorney. 4, former Representative Liz Cheney used the January 6 Select Committee as a tool to attack President Trump at the cost of investigating integrity and Capitol security. 5, the January 6 Select Committee was improperly constituted and lacked authority. And 6, the January 6 Select Committee neglected or withheld evidence from its final report and deleted voluminous records it should have preserved. 7, the Department of Defense scapegoated the Washington, D.C. National Guard to distract blame from senior leadership. Now, whether or not Liz Cheney is actually guilty of committing a crime, I think we'll leave that up to the courts. But I do know that with the way that she manipulated data, the way that she continually comes in and tries to skew information, manipulate the courts, you know, the way she lied under oath, I think she's a traitor, and I think she should go to prison just for that. I'm Elijah Schaffer. Thank you so much again for watching another episode of the Gateway Pundits Weekend Review. Don't forget, if you want to, you can sign up for our mug club. We have the best mugs. They're embossed. They're weighty. They're not like this one right here. My other one's being washed right now, so I wish I had more of them. But when you join the mug club, you get to join this community. You support a network that you love, and you get content like this. We appreciate it. Have a great rest of the week as always, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.